one time. You make me happy.
Love you, buddy.
Hey, you get off my cloud. All that negativity ain't gonna be bringing me down. Just keeping positive's a motto to the end. Hand out the window on the highway, riding the wind. Yep. Got scrappy in that old Kentucky playpen. When looking back now, I'm left wondering where them days went. Away went for sure, yeah, they spin. When they hates when I'm waving with that Honolulu hang 10. I'm just doing what I want. Mountains there to climb on. Sometimes you make it, sometimes you dive on. The prize must be what you keep your eyes on. A focused mind like I studied under masters up in Taiwan. Let that truth hit you. Tunes get jujitsu. Don't bitch, dude. You lace them up if that shoe fits you. We with you. Man, sometimes you gotta fix you. But no excuses, no din-dos. Man, just lay back and turn it up. Ray, word 'em up. Working on his farmer's tan underneath the burning sun. We gonna ride this cover wagon till its last wheel. Gotta love it when the music sounds just like the grass feels. Hey, you get off my cloud. All that negativity ain't gonna be bringing me down. Just keeping positive's a motto to the end. Hand out the window on the highway, riding the wind. Hey, you get off my cloud. All that negativity ain't gonna be bringing me down. Just keeping positive's a motto to the end. Hand out the window on the highway, riding the wind. Hey yo, Ray. Hey yo, Ray. Hey yo, Ray. Hey yo, Ray. Hey yo, Ray.
Get her after it. Get her after it.
Hey yo, Ray.
How's everybody doing today? We kicking ass today. How you doing? How are you doing? How the hell are you doing? How are you doing? How you doing? How are you doing? How you doing? All right, day 7 today, people. We're excited about day 7. It's a wonderful day. I can feel the autumn coolness in the air coming down, and it's quite nice here in the desert. I can tell you that right now. Now, not many people know this, but the desert has the best season right now. Okay, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. It does get hot in the summer. Okay, and I love the heat. I do. I love the heat. But right now it's so good because you're out there, you got a little nip, little action. You can work out in your tank top and not sweat your ass off, and go out there in the back and do a nice little barbecue out under the sun. Pop a few sodas, you know, little road sodas or something like that. Have a good time. That's what we're talking about right here, okay, people? How you doing today? Check in with yourself. Are you stoked? Are you excited? Do you have that fuel just surging through your body? Every one of your little veins is just pulsating. Excited. I'm stoked. Having a good time. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. If you ain't having fun, you ain't doing it right. Okay, so figure out how to make that fun. Okay, people, figure out how to make it fun. There's a lot of things out there we don't like doing, but you gotta make it fun. Okay, so you can have a good time with it. Now, we had a lot of fun last night. We had a big old talk, a little chit chat with James on the Bruvs Unite on our Wednesday thing. So that was a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun doing that. We talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about Ethan Ralph, talked about the biggest problem on the universe. What's the problem with the biggest problem on the universe? Did Super Killer kill the biggest problem in the universe? I think it did. We talked all about it. If you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to it. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome, okay? Now, I'm also trying to get Neil Whitehead. We're getting him on a little interview. If you remember, he's the one that made that book, Line and Washed Urban Landscapes, okay? We used that yesterday. Go check that out. That was a lot of fun. A lot of good stories yesterday about, I tell you, everywhere I go, I have all the craziest stories happen to me, man. The craziest people say the craziest things. I don't know what it is about me, but that just seems to happen that way. You know, I find myself in crazy situations. Then I'm also trying to get Mattis Adelson. You know, where I'm working with him. He's all the way over there in Central Europe, just like Ebi Canalis. So I'm trying to get synced up with him so we can get a schedule to get him interviewed. Okay, so I'm excited about that. I got a couple other ones. I'm trying to get Patty Vincent on. She's that landscape painter. I think she's up in Colorado or somewhere, but she does tremendous landscapes. And then I got a couple others that I'm working on too. Not all artists. Some of them are a little bit big time. You know, we're working our way up, people. It's a slow grind around here. It's a slow grind from the basement, okay? That's where we are right now. We're in the basement. We're the dogs, okay? We're trying to climb our way out in this world of clout that we don't know nothing about, right? I'm just a guy out here just trying to throw a little paint around, okay? Have a little bit of kitty cat love, you know what I mean? A little bit of Marge, come on. I got my ravens out there. It's so funny because when they're eating, they look like big black cats. They pretty much are big black cats with wings, but that's pretty funny. We did a whole bunch of cartoons the other day about Ethan Ralph. If you haven't seen them on my Twitter, go look at them. Good conversation about Ethan Ralph. Man, I was, you know, I tell you, I've had it happen to me more than once in my life where, you know, you give out empathy, and then all of a sudden that person just turns, and it turns out that they were on drugs or whatever. You know, they were addicted to the prostitution, or maybe they were addicted to the money or the clout or whatever, and they just all of a sudden turn. You know, I've had a couple of girlfriends, you know, when they're getting ready to break up with you or whatever, all of a sudden, you're the bad guy. You're the evil one. You know, you bend over backwards trying to make her happy, but you didn't do it right. You know, there was a little too many sprinkles in her ice cream sundae. You were abusing her. You know, not enough whipped cream. You were holding it back. Only one cherry, not two, like everybody else who really loves their woman. You know, so all of a sudden, like, everything that you did becomes, like, you know, terrible. You know, you become the bad guy. Oh, man, I hate that. But whatever, it's how it is, you know. Comes with the territory, you know. You end up being the one holding on a little bit longer, trying to make sure that the emotions stay intact and that, you know, even you know it's the relationship's on the skids, it's going away, but you try to make it a good transition because you know she's having a hard time, and she turns around and fucking kicks you right in the teeth. Has no regard for you. All of a sudden, like, in the course of one day, you went from being the best, most wonderful, amazing, to all of a sudden an abusive, neglectful, you know, philandering piece of shit, Al Bundy motherfucker that there is. You just got to own it. Hell, you should have been Al Bundy motherfucker in the first place. You know how many women I know that dated men on heroin and stuff like that, and they say, oh, I love them, and they treat them like shit. Yeah, man, treat them like shit. That's what they want. Serve it up to them. Or if you ain't in that kind of way to be that kind of man, just, you know, you're going to have to be by yourself. Get a couple of cats or a couple of ravens. That's what I did. I mean, a couple ravens, a couple cats. Getting ready to get a couple English bulldogs. Can't wait to do that. I think it's about time, you know. My sheriff, he died a little while back, maybe 2018, 2019. And just now I'm recovering from it, you know. And hell, I recovered from breaking up with some serious girlfriends faster than I did my dog. And that's just the way it is, because my dog, he loved me. I know that. He wasn't going to leave my ass on the side of the road because somebody else had a little bit more shiny boots, or had a more fancier watch, or was a little bit more smooth with the pickup lines, you know. Hell, I got other shit I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make paintings and stuff like that. I remember, oh, bro, check this out, okay? Listen to this, listen to this. So I'm out there trying to get better doing landscape paintings, right? I'm going around, I'm traveling around, you know, and I'm painting the different things. I'm going down to Coronado, going to La Jolla, doing all these different things and painting these different places. I take my girlfriend with me, you know, and she goes with me to paint and have a good time. And, you know, one time I'm sitting there painting on the beach, and she says, you know what, I'm just going to go in the bar and hang out for a while. You come get me when you're done. That's when I knew. I said, oh shit, it's over with now, boys. We is over. I'm out here trying to connect with nature, trying to take my girlfriend with me to have a nice, exciting, you know, passionate connection to the world or what I'm doing, and it's going to be our future and all that stuff. And here she is. She wants to go in and get a Long Island iced tea while I'm out here working, connecting with the world. Don't even want to say, you know what, honey, after we're done with this, let's go in and get a Long Island iced tea. Let's go in and have a little bit of a party, a couple shots of tequila and all that. No, she wanted to go party by herself, get all that attention from all the men, because, of course, you know, she was cute as a button. I ain't going to lie about that. She was one hot, saucy individual. But got attention. Everywhere she went, she got attention. But, you know, as it is, I'm out there painting. She walking in, going to get all her attention in the Hotel del Coronado. What's that all about, okay? Well, I tell you, I got stories for days about that kind of thing. I got different girls doing all kinds of different stuff. You know, hell, I went on a date with one a couple of times, and, bro, check this out. One time I said, went over to her house or whatever, and she said she had to leave right away. You know, been over there for about an hour. We were about to go do something. So, you got to go. What's going on? She said, yeah, I got to get down to the courthouse before it closes. I said, oh shit, what do we got to do at the courthouse? Did you get a parking ticket or something like that? She said, no, I'm finalizing my divorce. I was like, what? You married? What the hell? What the hell's going on? You're married? She said, oh yeah, I'm well, not really. And I said, so you're telling me if we're out at a restaurant somewhere and you and I are having dinner and some guy walks in and says, oh my God, my good sir, I want to challenge you to a duel. He takes out his, his glove and smacks me around a little bit in the face, challenge me to a duel because I'm out with his wife? That's technically true? She said, well, yeah, technically. I say, oh, fuck this shit. I'm out of here. That's some crazy ass shit right there. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Oh, by the way, I'm going through a divorce. Didn't know if you knew that. All that kind of stuff. Like, okay, girl. All right. Bro, I got tons of women's stories. It is crazy, you know. But are you stoked? Are you excited? Are you excited to be out there? Okay, you keeping that critical eye in the hole? You're keeping that critical eye in the hole. Now, let me tell you something. You, as men especially, we really got to keep that critical eye in the hole because we're the last line of defense. You know what I'm saying? Because not only you got to deal with your critical eye, you got to deal with your woman's critical eye. And sometimes she's right. Sometimes she's wrong. Most of the time, she's wrong. All the time, she's always wrong. Okay, you got to know what you're doing as a guy out here. And that's the way women really want it. They all sit there and pretend and protest and say, hey, I want to be heard. But really what the women really want is a man to say, oh, no, darling, it'll be all right. We're going to do it my way, and you'll see why later. Then you'll be so happy. And then go on and go about your way. That's what women really want. And then when you go ahead and you make your money or you get the best car or whatever, she gonna snuggle up to you and say, baby, you so right. I love you so much. You is always right. You always looking out for me, making sure I get the best Chanel purses and the best Birkin bags and the best indoor pool and the best houses and the best cars. And you're gonna be like, that's right. You know what's up. It's Big Daddy time right now. That's the way it is. You know, that's the way it is. So are you keeping that critical eye in the hole? I hope you are. Whether you're a man or a woman, it don't matter. But I hope you are. Hope you're getting further in your life, okay? Now, how's that schedule going? You got your schedule broken out. I'm looking over at my schedule. 11 minutes, 8 seconds. That's how long we've been going. So I'm keeping track of my schedule. I got a clock right up there now. I'm all about that schedule. We're going to go ahead and put some time in today and get that going because we're going to paint outside, you know. We're going to paint outside. So we're going to get that going. Keep your schedule protected. That's how you drive your life, okay? That's how you drive your life. If you think back to the time when you were a kid, you had that schedule. You know, you put it towards school. You put it towards your sports. You put it towards all the things that made you happy. Then one day you woke up and you was an adult and you said, I ain't happy. I'm not happy. Well, what happened to your schedule? How many things are you putting in your life that are making you happy? Well, I can't. I got to do this. I got to do that. No, you don't. You don't. You are rationalizing being a victim, okay? When are you going to take on the agency and become a champion? See that right there? Champion. That's what you want to be. You want to be a champion. You like that? I planned that. I didn't plan that out. That just happened. That's why I'm a champion. It's in the schedule. Let's go. So you want to protect that time. You want to get your schedule going so you're happy, you know? Hell, maybe you always wanted to get yourself a ping pong table. You used to play ping pong when you were a kid. Hell, maybe you were like me and you played ping pong when you were at work and it was fucking awesome. Then you want to get your ping pong table back. One thing I really want to get is a shuffleboard table. You know those kind of have in the bar? I want to get me one of them shuffleboard table. And I have this company. It's up in the Northern California. I've been eyeballing them for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, because the shuffleboard table is big, man. It's like 30 feet long, you know, and you got that little shuffleboard and you slide it like that, and it's a lot of fun. And it's great too because men and women can play equally, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't take a lot of force. It just take, you know, just go like that. And I used to play it all the time at the bar down when I at Hermosa Beach at a bar called the Underground. And they used to have 2 twin bartenders there. I don't know if they're still there or not. One was Cahier and one was, I want to say Kyle, blonde hair guys, older guys. And they were great, fantastic guys. And we had a blast down there during the summertime. playing these shuffleboard. We get like 30 or 40 people around us because we be playing the shuffleboard, and I'd be pretty good at it. Every time you won, the other team had to buy you a shot, okay? So that kind of evened it out, because the more you won, the more drunk you got. The more drunk you got, the worse you played. But I don't know, in my case, I played better. So they were in for a lot of trouble. Now, you know, I could go for about 12 or 13 shots before I really had to sit down. After about my 13th shot, I had to take a break for a while, maybe eat some chicken wings or something like that. But I tell you what, down there at that underground at Hermosa Beach, go down there. It's still down there. Go take a look. In that nice, warm summer air, you smell the beach coming in, you have yourself a good time. You got shuffleboard during the afternoon. It was a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun. You want that kind of fun in your life. You want to schedule that. I ain't saying you got to go get drunk or nothing like that. Of course not. And if you're a kid, don't do it. Don't do it. When you get older, get yourself a little bit of tequila. You know, find a drink you like and just go ahead and when you go out, you have that drink and you'll be A-okay. Don't go on doing the alcoholic thing because you're going to basically ruin your life. And that ain't no fun, right? You're going to push away all of the cool people in your life. You're going to push away the cool women in your life. If you're a woman, you're only going to attract loser men. And then what's going to happen? Well, when you hit 30, 40, 50, or whatever, you're going to look around and you're going to say, what the hell happened to my life? I'm living in this little ditch on the side of the road, and the only people that come around are other people that like to live in ditches. And they ain't even got no teeth neither. And then you check your mouth and you realize, I'm missing a tooth. I'm turning into them people. And that's how it goes. So then what you have to do is you have to get excited. You have to put the critical eye in the hole. And you have to make a schedule, okay? And that's how you dig your way out. Now, Ethan Ralph, you know, I love you to death, buddy. Well, sure, we make some cartoons around here. We bust balls, and of course, I bust your balls. But that's what you got to do, Ethan. If you're watching this video, you got to do those 3 things, okay? You got to get excited about something in your life, probably your son. You got to control that critical eye that wants to come in and tell you you're a piece of shit. And then you got to make a schedule and start the digging. Start that digging. And whoever else needs to hear it, that's for you, okay? It's not only for the positive things like artwork and working out and cooking. It's also for those low down dirty things that we all need to get a hold of in our life. And you get a hold of them, you're going to be a lot happier. Don't give yourself justification to hold on to them. That's a loser's mentality, okay? And you're going to end up eating shit sandwiches. I don't know about you, but I've had my fill of shit sandwiches in my life. In fact, I ate the shit sandwiches that belonged to other people. And they was terrible. They wasn't even my responsibility to take care of. But I ate them anyway. Like a naive, young kid that I was, full of empathy, trying to help out. Okay, and I ate all them shit sandwiches. And they was terrible. Soggy bread. You know, some of them were dripping with diarrhea. I'm telling you, picture it in your mind. You know, they erode your teeth, get them knocked out and all that. You don't want that, okay? You want to dig your way out. You want to go on and have a great life. Have a great opportunity, you know. Sure, we lose some people. Sure, we do some people wrong. But that don't mean we can't turn that chapter. If you still breathing, you still can do it, okay? If you're saying, oh, it's too late for me. I'm looking at you. I'm checking your pulse. I'm saying you're alive and all you are is a big wet pussy. That's all you are. You got to turn it around. You can't be like that. You can't be a little girl. You know, hey, little girls are great. You know, I'm just using it to bust balls. You got me, right? So come on, you know, don't be like that. All right. So get excited about something. Use that genuine desire like fuel to propel yourself forward in life. Block out the critical eye so he doesn't stop you. And then create a schedule so you can navigate where you want to go. That's it. That's the key. That's the recipe for success right there, okay? It's distilled down into 3 very simple steps that everybody can do, all right? Now, we're just focusing on artwork right here today, and hell, I didn't know we was going to get into all this life-changing event, people. That's right. Come here, get your art lessons and therapy for free. Okay, that's what we're talking about right here. All right, we all need it, don't we? This is the kind of talking to that maybe if you had grandparents or an uncle, great uncle, they'd sit you down and say, "Hey, buddy, let's have a chat. You're really fucking up. You got to get yourself on the straight and narrow because I know where you're going to be in 5 or 10 years, and you ain't gonna want to be there." Anyway, so but I digress, as Karmic would say. I digress. We're gonna go ahead and get into our artwork today, okay? We're running up on 19 minutes. I know James is out there. He's pocket watching me all the way from England. He got that big telescope. He's watching me. He's saying, Ray, come on, get with it. And see, James is one of those guys. He's a good guy. You don't want to push the good guys out of your life. Keep them in your life. They help keep you on the straight and narrow. You know what I mean? They help keep you accountable, right? As men, we all need that. We all do. We all need to stay accountable, you know. Don't be afraid of being held accountable. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. All right, so I had a couple of people, and they were like, Ray, I want to paint outside, but sometimes the weather where I'm at is terrible. What do I do if I can't escape and get outside? And I said, okay, well, I'm going to tell you what you do. This is day 7. Some other people say, Ray, I don't really want to get good at this. What kind of steps do I need to do to get good at this? I'm not talking just going out there on the lark and having a good time, taking a few beers out there and painting the landscape and then coming home, putting something on my refrigerator that my 6-year-old son could do better at. Or my 7-year-old little girl, she paints better than that with crayons. I got to have something I got to represent. I want to really put something in the frame and be proud of it when I give it away as Christmas gifts, you know, stuff like that. So to that person, I say, okay, no problem. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to go through some exercises, all right? This is day 7, the last day where we're going to be inside. We're going to try to get outside at day 10, which is going to be Monday. Remember, tomorrow we're going to do the live. We're going to have a good time with the live. I'm going to try to get other people on. We'll try to get D-Wag on. We'll have James on. We'll try to get John, maybe Professor Grass, and a couple other people. We'll try to get them on. Maybe Asian O, maybe some other people. And we're going to have a good ruckus conversation about some bullshit. We're going to bust some balls. Okay? We're going to have that good old charisma. That good old, you know, interaction between the fellas. You know? Hell, maybe we'll try to get a couple gals on there. We'll see. But what we're going to do is work on that on Saturday, okay? But then on Sunday, we're going to do something fun on Sunday. Got that nice fun thing going on Sunday. But then Monday is going to be day 10, okay, people? So I want you to go out. I want you to practice this on Saturday and Sunday. And remember, the 2 days that you're supposed to be breaking loose, having fun, taking risks, okay? You schedule in the risk-taking, right? So then every time you schedule in the risk-taking, every time those days go by, your risks get higher and higher. The returns get greater and greater. Pretty soon, a risk that you took a month ago don't seem like a risk anymore because you already done raised the bar. You know what I mean? That's how you grow. That's how you grow, okay? You want to grow like that. So let's get excited about that. And I got 9 squares on here, and I used our little thing. If you could, there you go, put me up in the corner. Appreciate it, appreciate it. We all got our little squares. Remember, I cut these out. These are 2 by 3. Little tiny squares. There we go, right there. And mine are wood because I use mine to, you might be wondering, Ray, what do you do with all these little thumbnails that you do? Well, I put them in these little bitty frames that I made. I made these frames right here. Check those frames out. Ain't those frames great? And those frames are fantastic. And I have a whole bunch of these little frames. And I put little magnets in the back of them. And hey, hold on, let me see if I can't find one that has a image in it. And I'll see if I can't get one over there. I'll see if I can't find one with the image in it. We'll get it pulled together. And what I want to do is I take these and I put them in these little fellas right here. And I used to sell them in galleries. Okay, I got my name right there. Look at that. I have a brand that I put in there. It's all nice and good. And then I made all these frames myself. They're 2 inches by 3 inches. Some of them are 3 by 3. Some of them are 2 by 2. And what I do is I take all my little thumbnails and exercises and all that, and I put them in the frames. Then when I put them in the frames, I mount them, and then I spray them and all that kind of stuff. And let's see what we got. We got a couple over here that look like that. Here, I got one right here. This is a painting of down in LA on a sunset with some palm trees. And I got that. It's a nice 2-inch by 2-inch frame with a nice stain covered in lacquer. And I was learning how to do all this. Can you believe that? That's little old me right there. Learn how to do all the woodworking. I didn't know how to do it before, okay? But I learned how to do it, making all these frames. Here's another one of a wave, okay? This is a wave at sunset, you know? A beautiful wave, okay? Watercolor that I go ahead and look at that nice little stain. I got a little burnt edge right there. I got the ray. Now that ray right there, is branded right into. I bought myself a brand and I burned it right in there. Then I put a couple magnets in it on the back so you can put it on the wall if you want to. I used to sell these $100 a pop at in the galleries. Okay. Now of course the gallery's done closed. Here's a bigger one right here. There's a girl surfing, a fun one of a girl surfing in Hawaii. Okay. This is a person that I knew in Hawaii. I think she probably still lives there, but I put it in this this beautiful frame. It's all black. Now I put a little saran wrap over it to keep the dust from getting on it, because when I put it in storage, sometimes the dust gets on it. So I do a whole bunch of these, and I make these fun frames, and I go ahead and I make a way to sell. And of course, they sell like hotcakes because everybody loves them. They just absolutely love them. Some people, I say, put them on your refrigerator, and they say, oh, I can't do that. I got kids, and they'll ruin it. I laugh about it. Some of them put them on their gun safe. And some of them put them on their shelf because they're designed so you can stand them up just like that. How cool is that? You can stand them up just like that. And I have a good time engineering the frames out and try to make it multiple use for the frames, okay? And then on some of the other frames, I put a nice little miter cut in the back right here, so you don't even need a wire. You can hang them up just like that if you want to, you know? Of course, it doesn't have them on here because these guys are too small. But how cool is that? Isn't that beautiful? So anyway, there's always a purpose for everything you do, people. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There's a purpose for everything you do. So I got these, you know, that I cut out, and what I do is I just put it right in there, and then I put this right on top, clamp it down, glue it together. Okay? So that's what these were initially used for, but now I use them also for my little template for my little thumbnails. Okay? They're pretty fantastic. So today what I was going to show you is, let me get my little water bottle right here. Got my water bottle. I'm going to wake up my watercolors. You got to spray them all off. I was going to show you what you should be doing if you're going to stay inside, okay? If you're not going to do anything. So I'm pulling up this image, and I got this image of this painter. His name is Nathan Folks. Okay, he's a fantastic painter, and he's done stuff for Disney, for DreamWorks, for Pixar, for all kinds of people. Okay, he's fantastic. And so here's some of his gouache studies of landscape. And I got them pulled up right here. You can probably see them on the screen. And what we're going to do is we're just going to knock out a couple of these. We're going to go quick. Okay, we're just going to go quick, quick, quick. And let me just say this. The reason why I say you want to go quick is because I don't mean you actually want to go fast with your movement. What I mean when I say quick is you want to reduce down the study to this most elemental part, the most basic part. Okay, now I got my pencil right here, and we'll go ahead and we'll do this first one, the second one down of the desert. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put in the little horizon line, like we're going to use our X-ray vision where the sky meets the earth. Then we're going to put in our mountains right here, and then we're going to put a couple little bushes in the foreground. Okay, so he's got a sky, background, midground, foreground. Okay. And when I say go quick, what I mean is we're just going to put the basic elemental pieces in, all right? So I'm looking at the sky. The sky looks like a little bit of a blue. So grab a little bit of blue, you know? And you can always just grab straight from the tray because we're going to make these extremely simple. So I'm just grabbing a little turquoise, and we're just going to go whoop, like so, okay? Now, I'm not worrying about taping it off today because I already told you about it. The other reason I'm not going to tape it off is because I want you to see all around the tape what's going to happen. Okay? So if I taped it off, it'd be kind of hard for you to see. Do I have that raised up too high? I think I do. Let me pull this down just a little bit. See that right there? All right, that's a lot better. Woo, what was I thinking? Okay? So then I'm looking at his painting, and I can see the purple. So we're going to take a little bit of this red and put a little blue with it, a little turquoise. You know, just do simple purple, okay? That's the mountain. I don't think that's purple enough. Let's go ahead and add more, okay? There's the mountain right there. Make sure you absorb those little blobs of water, okay? Absorb those blobs. Don't let them just sit there because they'll destroy your painting. You got to control the water. That's the one thing with watercolor that you got to control. Now I'm going to paint the foreground. I'm going to paint the yellow, the sand, okay? So we're just gonna, and I'm not really worried about like if it's the exact right color or not, okay? You got me, people? I'm not worried, all right? Now watch, as I touch be very careful about when you touch the little bead on the mountains, because it's gonna flow down into the sand. But it's good. We like that, okay? Because you have some hidden elements, which is a lost edge on the mountain, and then some found out, some hard edges, and so it makes it, like I said, the variety is the spice of life. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna come up here and we're gonna paint some of these bushes. All right. Let me grab these bushes real quick. It's a little bit of a yellow with that turquoise. Okay. So I'm gonna get some of that yellow, some of that turquoise. We're gonna come in here and paint some of these bushes. Look at that. Let me get a little more turquoise, make it a little more green. There we go. There we go. And this is an exercise you can do, and it helps when you look at a master and you copy from the master, because they're already distilled the little lessons for you in their painting, so you can learn those lessons very quickly. Now there's one other thing that I want to do with this watercolor. I want to add the shadows. All right, I want to add the purple shadows at the base of those little bushes. Okay, so we're gonna get a little purple, a little green. And we're going to come up here. We're just going to touch the bottom. We're going to touch the bottom. Where's the bottom? We're going to touch it. Touch, touch, touch. Touch, touch, touch. Remember, we're just trying to mimic that pattern. Okay, people? We're not really trying to paint a bush. We're trying to, if we squint our eyes, what does the pattern of that bush look like? And we're trying to manufacture that so that when people look at it quickly, they say, oh, that's a bush. I can see that. That's a bush. Okay? And there we go. Okay, there's our first one. Now, how long did that take? How long did that take? I don't know. I wasn't timing myself. But look at that. There it is right there. Okay? And you got the pencil marks in there. It looks like a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful little study right there. Okay? Now, you could say to yourself also, you could say, hey, Ray, do you ever do it without the pencils? And I say, yeah, I do it without the pencils. It takes a little bit more skill. We can totally do that. Let me jump over to this next one. Okay? So this next one I'm going to do the red sky with the bushes in the foreground. Okay, so on this one we're not going to use the pencil. All right, we're going to get ourselves a nice orange-red color, and we're going to paint the sky with it. First, what we're going to do is find that horizon line. Boop. No, it's a little bit lower, right about there. Okay. Remember, we're not going to use the pencil this time. No big deal. Just roll with it, people. Roll with it. Take a risk. Okay. Now we'll paint the sky. A little bit more orange in that sky. And you know what? You might not think it's a big deal, but the little tiny variations are a very big deal. And the eye can discern them. Okay? Little tiny, like look at that right there. Can you see that? Let me pull it close. That little variation in color from the orange right there to the red right there. The eye can discern that. Isn't that amazing? So let's go ahead and let's get some more orange. We like that orange. A little yellow orange. Let's put it on the bottom right there. Okay? Now what we want to do is I'm noticing that red is a little bit darker up in the sky. So let's get a darker red. Let's get some little rose with the mixed little alizarin crimson. Alizarin. Say it like you mean it, people. And we're going to go ahead and paint that up here. We're going to give that a little bit of a darkness up here. And that's going to really make the orange kind of pop out. Okay? And it's looking good. All right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab a little brown to finish off the very top of the sky. You're thinking, Ray, that's crazy. Brown in the sky? Yep, brown in the sky. The red's going to turn to brown. It's going to fool your eyes into thinking it's a darker red. Okay? But it's really not. It's a brown. How about that? How about that for them color theory, huh, people? How about that? And that's the kind of stuff you learn when you're out here just having a good time painting nature. Okay? And you're having fun while you're doing it. Now, can you see how that looks? Like the brown looks like a darker. And don't worry about those little dots right there. They're going to blend right into the background. Okay, right into the background. Now I'm looking at it and you're saying, Ray, now what? Okay, well now we're going to go with some of them bushes. And them bushes are like, you know, it looks like a darker turquoise is what it looks like. Now when you're trying to catch color, the best way to catch color and to figure out what the color is to look at it very quickly. And then go with your intuition. You have to really feel it. Okay? You got to feel it. You can't sit there and the more you study it and you look with your eye, and the more you look at it, the more you think about it, the worse it gets. You're like, oh, that might be a red. No, I could see some brown in it. Oh no, it has a little bit of turquoise, maybe a little bit of yellow. Oh no, that looks like, so don't do it. Just look at it really quickly out of the corner of your eye and go with it. Whatever you think that it is, decide that that's what it is and go with it. Lay down the first wash, and then if you want, come back and then touch it up with a little bit of turquoise. If you see a little bit of a turquoise in there. And that's what we're doing right here. Touch it up a little bit of a turquoise, okay? And that's what we're doing. Let it diffuse out, okay? You see that right there? We push that up so you can see a little bit better. I keep forgetting to frame it up for you guys, but you know, that's all right. We'll figure it out. So let's go ahead and get this yellow going, because this is going to be the sand. It's going to be like a yellowish sand hue. And let's come in there. Let's go ahead and pull it across. Be careful not to mess with your bushes. Okay, unless you want to lose them edges, leave them alone. Just paint around them. I'm gonna lose the edge right there. Get rid of that white. Get rid of that white. Got some sand in the background. All right. So now what we got is we got ourselves a nice looking desert. All right. Now I did notice that the bushes, now that I look at them, appear to be more purple. And sometimes that happens as you go along. You'll notice that the colors kind of change in your mind. And that's because you're really framing the rest of your painting accurately, and you're starting to discern the truer nature of the colors. Okay, that happens. Okay, people? So just go with that. And also remember, you don't have to copy it exactly. You have to just get the tone or the letter, the law. It doesn't have to be exact, just the intention. Okay? There we go. So there we go. We got that one. Now I'm looking down. That just took me 3 minutes to put that together. That's a solid 3-minute study right there, isn't it? Don't you think so? That's pretty good right there. That's pretty fire, as we say. Now, what you want to look for is you want to look for color harmonies that really sit well with you, that make you excited. Okay, that you're like, oh, that's nice. I want to figure out what that is. And then what we do is we come over here and we do this master study, and we figure out what the hell that is. Okay, so we got our third little exercise here to do, and let's go ahead and figure out which one we want to do. So I think what we want to do is the one just right next to it. I'm not really sure what that is, but I'm going to pick it because it has an interesting yellow sky. And you do get them yellow skies sometimes. So we'll take a little bit of this yellow. We'll find the horizon line, and let's go ahead and mix some of this yellow in there like so. Get this sky going, okay? And I love it too because it has those soft purples mixed in with it, okay? So we'll go ahead and take some of this soft purple. Now this is going to diffuse out. Be aware of that, okay? It might be a lot softer in our version than in his version because we're using watercolor and he's using gouache. And that's okay, okay? That's all right. And gouache is just an opaque watercolor that sits on top of the paper, whereas what we have is a transparent watercolor that sinks down into the paper. You get my drift? It's different, but we can achieve the same thing. Now look how beautiful that wash looks. Look at how beautiful it is with some of those purples and some of those yellows just mixed in there. Isn't that something? Now I love how that looks, so I'm going to leave that alone. It looks like it's nice and soft edges and diffused into the background. That's beautiful. We're going to take a little bit more of this purple and we're going to come into the foreground. A little bit of this turquoise, okay? We're going to come right in here, right into the foreground a little bit. Leave some spaces. This is the midground. We're in the middle tone, okay? And then the foreground is going to be a nice bright sand or whatever the hell that is. I can't tell what that is. So we'll just we'll warm up our yellow, make it a little bit orange maybe. And we're going to come in here and put this wash down like so. Okay, you can see what I'm doing right there. Just push that wash down there like so, people. And you might want to warm it up a little bit. Add a little bit of that brown, a little red. Touch it a little bit with the gray or purple and make it a little more brown. There we go. That looks good. That's why I love watercolor. Transparent watercolor actually paints along with you. Like up here, it's helping me out, right? It's actually doing some of the painting work for me. I just put that watercolor down and the watercolor diffuses out into the rest of the wash, okay? Right here, it's doing the same thing. I don't have to manipulate that edge. It's doing it for me as it dries. So it's kind of your little helper, you know? That's why I love watercolor. Plus, it's inexpensive and it's very easy to clean up. And one of my favorite guys, John Singer Sargent, he painted some beauties with watercolor, and I absolutely love those. You know, when he was going in the Venice and going through the Alps and stuff like that. Absolutely love it. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna paint the subject of this watercolor, which is gonna be this this rock or whatever the hell it is, right in the middle. Okay, we're gonna paint this rock. Got this rock right here. We're just gonna give some indications of the rock. No big deal. It's not the rock, not Dwayne Johnson rock. It's just a rock. Okay, it's just a rock. Okay, so we're looking at that right there. That's some of the lively points. Now we want to make a little bit of some orange speckles maybe in these little white areas. Little orange speckles. We want to lighten up some of these little parts of this wash. Okay, have some of that stick out right there. Maybe some right there. We're just touch. So we got our rock right here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come in with a darker brown. Maybe even add a little bit of a black to it to give it a darker value. When we add black, it also is going to make it less saturated, so it's a little bit more of a gray. We're going to come here and add the shadows for this rock. Okay, add some of the shadows. Really make this rock pop out. You got me? And then there we go. Now I don't know what kind of rock this is. I don't have any idea where this is. But we're going to do something like that. And also, if you have too much of a hard edge down at the bottom, like that's too much of a uniform hard edge down here at the bottom, we're just going to come in here, get our brush wet, tap it once or twice, and then on the napkin over here to get some of the water off of it. Then we're going to come up here and just touch right below and let some of that water do the work for us and diffuse some of this hard edges into soft edges. Okay, we're going to do that. The next thing I want to do is I want to come back in here and I want to add a darker blue to these shadows to separate it out from the background. So we're going to come up here, we're just going to add some darker blues, just like so. All right, will we leave some of the dark blues or light blues? Sure we will, but we're going to go ahead and add some of the darker blues. Okay, maybe even take some of this blue down into the foreground, add some shadows here like that. Now what about up here? Let's go ahead and diffuse some of these edges, make some of them a little bit softer, like so. Okay, we'll go ahead and make them softer. There we go. Okay, so there we go. Now one thing that I might want to do, there's a lot of soft edges in here. I might want to let this dry for a second. Let me tap some of this water off of here. And I might want to add one or two hard edges back into it because I obliterated all of the hard edges. I didn't want to do that. Anyway, it's a balance though. We're juggling, right? We take one step forward, one step back. It's like we're dancing, okay, people? It's just like we're dancing, all right? It's like we're dancing. We're trying to get that depth. Squint your eyes, look at your painting, squint your eyes. That's your secret power that every artist has, okay? Squint your eyes. Now I can tell it's still a little bit too damp in the water because it wants to pull up right there. Not pull up like Eric July. Pull up, motherfucker! No, it wants to pool up like P-O-O-L. And you can tell because it's not, there we go. And now it's starting to get the right dryness, right? In the paper, because then it wants to run out into the paper. And that's what you want. You want to get sensitive to how your paper is behaving when you're doing watercolor. And that's why they pay us the big bucks, right? Because we know how to work watercolor paper. That's why we're getting the millions of dollars, okay? And so there you go. There you go. You got yourself a nice little rock out there painting in the desert. Now that's going to dry. It's going to look a lot better. You can always come back and put in some of the harder edges, but that's really artsy-fartsy right there. Then we got ourselves a nice little sunset right there out in the desert. Just a thumbnail of it. Then we got our nice little desert during the midday with a little bit of the mountains in the background, okay? Now, of course, if you want to, we're going to do this real quick. Once it's dried, we can come back to our very first painting. We can put that mountain in just a little bit harder. Now that it's ready for a little bit of a hard edge, okay? And that's what we're going to do. We go in here and just put in a little hard edge, a little bloop, 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 bloop. Look at that. Look what we just did right there. We just brought it all together with that one little stroke. Sometimes that's all it takes, okay? Sometimes that's all it takes. But that's about it. We're going to come back up here to camera one now. So we take a look at this great. Like I say every time, it's just that easy. It's easy. When you're having fun, it just flows. The little paint just jumps right off the brush, right onto the page, and it looks like you make it look so easy You make it look like everybody could do it. You know what I'm saying? That's how you want it to work. Bro, think about this, right? Think about this. Think about the fact that you're an expert, all right? Think about the fact that you're a master at what you do. Part of the component of being a master is your ability to make it look easy. Is your ability to have everything under control, right? You're not even sweating. You're just kind of in the zone. You're doing your thing. You're dancing. You know, you're on the wave. You're sliding down in the pocket. You know, you're just like, this is how it's done. Now I got to do this. I got to do that. I know everything I got to do. I'm in complete control of my paper, of my canvas, of my art, of my, you know, that's what a master is. And I remember watching the guy who taught me, fantastic master, Master Yim Malkoon. Everything he did, he would smoke his cigarette, his Dunhill cigarettes. That's the kind he liked. The Dunhill. He's smoking. He'd have his paintbrush like that. He'd sit there and then go. And he was more worried about getting back to that cigarette than he was painting his painting. It was so funny. He'd be sitting there painting a masterpiece. I'm not kidding, a masterpiece. It was like a, you know, 3 or 4 sessions of 3 hours a piece, right? So he's putting 12 or 16 hours, 15, whatever, into this painting, and he'd do it just chain smoking, just, you know, like it was an afterthought. But he had complete control. He looked smooth, you know, as a cool guy. He looked like a Chinese James Dean making this happen. You know what I mean? And I remember thinking, how in the hell has he got this so easy? He's making like hundreds of choices a minute, you know? Too light, too dark, too warm, too cool, too red, too blah, 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 too hard, and he's doing all this stuff and just smoking a cigarette, drinking his coffee, you know, like it's even an afterthought. But he was a master. No wasted strokes at all. He knew exactly where every piece of paint had to go, what every type of piece of paint had to be to put it up there. And he made it enjoyable to watch. It was enjoyable to watch him paint. And you're sitting there like, oh, this guy, he got it. Oh, hell yeah, motherfucker, yeah. You know, you could never get that way with paint, but I'm like, yeah, get him. Beat up that canvas, get it. And it was so fun. And then he'd like finish, like, okay, are we ready to go to lunch? Are you ready to get some lunch? Be like, hell yeah, let's go get some lunch. And when you're a master, that's how you want to be. You want to make it so inviting that people are attracted to it, and people have the, I don't want to say audacity, I don't want to say hubris, but we'll put it this way. We want people to be so naive that it looks so easy that they think they could go ahead and get their canvas all set up and paint on his level. Oh yeah, I'm going to get me a cigarette, I'm going to do it too. And then you're like, what the hell happened? I don't know. It looks like a piece of shit. It looks terrible. But when he did it, it was so fun. It was so enjoyable, and it was so fun to watch. And I'm gonna be talking a lot more about him coming up pretty soon. But where's that coffee cup? Because we got to get out of here. We're running right on 48 minutes. James is gonna kick my ass. Let's fucking go, people. Come on.